we'll be looking at live school points, staff and scholar birthdays. We'll also be looking at a new segment called Meet the Staff, where the PVTV team interviews staff so you can learn a little bit more about them. We'll talk about upcoming school events, and we'll talk about who we're featuring as PLAV honors Women's History Month. Sit back, relax, enjoy Season 2, Episode 22. High school live school points. Freshmen have 19,519 points. Sophomores have 11,704 points. Juniors have 13,134 points. And seniors have 5,966 points. Way to go, scholars. Individual leaders are Kamari in the freshmen, leading with 997 points. Josiah leading the sophomores with 1,063 points. Mariah leading the juniors with 818 points. And Travis leading the seniors with 729 points. Way to go, scholars. For middle school, 6th graders have 8,512 points. 7th graders have 14,643 points, and 8th graders have 18,469 points. Way to go, scholars. Last but not least, Abigail is leading all of the 6th graders with 914 points. Angelina is leading all of the 7th graders with 1,061 points, and Savannah is leading all 8th graders with 1,179 points. Way to go, scholars. PLAV and PVTV would love to wish these scholars a very happy birthday. Deandra on March 11th, Kevin on March 14th, Avion on March 15th, and Elijah on March 16th. We hope all of you have a wonderful birthday, and happy birthday from PVTV and PLAV. Scholars and staff, PVTV has a new segment for you. It is called Meet the Staff. Every week we are going to interview one, in this case 2, of our fabulous staff members so you can get to learn a little bit more about them. This week like I said, we have 2 for you. The fabulous, the one and only Dr. Tora Townsend. She is the principal of your school. And we also have Mrs. Maxwell. She is our vice principal, or our second in command. I hope you enjoy learning a little bit more about our fearless leaders.
What was the hardest part of getting to where you are now with your career?
Well, thank you for asking. I would honestly say I have personally always loved school. And so I think the most challenging piece was that I actually transitioned into teaching. My original career path was pre law. So I think the most challenging piece was figuring out, after I had completed an entire 4-year degree in pre law and attended law school, was shifting and figuring out the right path to make sure I was at the right school for education purposes, but then also figuring out the whole teaching process and being able to make an impact with scholars.
Great. Finding the right path for you.
That's very interesting. Do I have similar events? I would say yes. I did not go to law school, but I did go to college to become an elementary teacher. And I only wanted to teach 4th grade. For some reason, I decided I want to teach 4th grade. And I went to college and I went and did my student teaching, and I did my student teaching in 4th grade. And that's what I wanted to do. But I moved to Hawaii after I got married and couldn't find a job anywhere. So I went to an interview at a hospital to work with children who were in the hospital to teach them. And believe it or not, the 2 supervisors both happened to be from Indiana. So we hit it off. We talked all about Indiana basketball and where we went to school and Ball State and IU and all these great, wonderful things. And it turned out we even knew people that knew people in common. And I took the job. But what I forgot to do was ask a lot of questions about the hospital. I was just so impressed that I loved these people and that they were offering me a job that I took it. So when I showed up for my first day, I realized very quickly that it was not a medical hospital, it was a psychiatric hospital. So I ended up working with students that had some serious emotional concerns. And that is not at all what I thought I was going to end up doing. But I fell in love with it. And I had a parent there tell me that when he met me for the first time, he didn't think I was going to be very good at what I did because I was young. But after working with his son, he said I was the best thing that ever happened to his son and had helped change his life. And it really made me stop and think maybe I can do a lot more good than just being in a typical classroom setting. Maybe I really could work with scholars that needed a little bit more help. And that is what set me on the path to teach special education, which is what led me to being a special ed coordinator of a building, which led me to administration. So I don't think if that had ever happened to me, just like with Dr. Townsend having a scholar tell her something that she had made a change in their life, I don't think if that had ever happened that I would end up where I am right now. So I think our paths were very different, but it seems that both of us were very affected by what a scholar told us on how we made a difference, and that ended up pushing us to where we are right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Life is beautiful. Next question. What has been your most memorable experience from when you first started your career till now?
All right. Well, I actually have many, but I'm going to choose one, which is what actually launched me into teaching. So I was working at a school as a business manager, and I was attending law school part time. Well, one day, a teacher became very overwhelmed and quit. And midday, so one of the students, and her name is Danisha, she came out and she was like, "What are we going to do?" So our principal was like, "I don't know." She said, "Can you just go in there and figure out what's happening and let me know?" I said, "No problem." So I went in to the classroom and they were reading Phantom Tollbooth. I quickly read the book, figured it out, and a week later, one of my students, her name was Danisha, she told me, "You know, you're going to law school because you want to make a difference." She said, "How about you become a teacher and you can make a difference and help shape people or children to make better decisions so that they don't have to get in trouble and they don't have to go to court and they won't need you as an attorney." And it all makes sense. And here I am now.
Interesting, interesting. Great, great. Okay, next. Deanna Maxwell. Here's some questions for you. Um, what will you do? What do you prefer between pancakes and waffles?
Okay, I'm going to cheat now and tell you that I love both, but if I'm just going to put syrup on them, pancakes, hands down, no contest. But if I'm going to put all kinds of great stuff like chocolate chips and whipped cream, then absolutely waffles, because then I want to put them in each individual little square. So it totally depends on the arrangement. If you just put a thing of syrup in front of me, I want pancakes. But if you have all kinds of toppings, I absolutely want the waffles. They can hold more.
So I am definitely a pancake person, and they need to be buttery in the center and crispy on the edges. And I just pretty much like butter and syrup, so I don't really like all that extra stuff.
Interesting.
Right. We learned
See, we
something
learn
new.
things about people all the time, don't we?
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, wonderful team. It was a pleasure to connect with you all and to interview today.
And that's a wrap up. Bye bye. Have a good one.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So let's say we're going to put Mrs. Maxwell down for waffles, and then Dr. Townsend was, of course, pancakes. We'll keep a count with each interview, and we'll find out which comes out on top, pancakes or waffles.
PLAV and
The
PVTV
month of March
are
is
honoring
Women's History
women
Month.
for the month of
PLAV
March
and
for Women's History
PVTV would
Month.
like to bring to you
Every
every
week,
day
every
a story
day,
of an
we'll be
inspirational
showing
woman.
a different
We hope you enjoy
woman
and
and
learn
her
a little bit
impact
more about
on
these women
world
and how they
history.
help
We hope
shape
you enjoy.
the world we live in.
PLAV. This week for Women's History Month, we'll be featuring Shirley Chisholm, Eleanor Roosevelt, Sylvia Mendez, Alice Paul, Nellie Bly, and Gloria Steinman. We hope you enjoy learning a little bit more about these women who have shaped our history. Scholars, do you want your parents to know how awesome you are and all of the great things that you are doing in school? Well, please ask them to check their emails and get signed up for parent-teacher conferences on Friday, March 15th. But just because we're talking with your parents doesn't mean that you get to take the day off. You are going to come into your homeroom and get that attendance. It is mandatory. You will then have asynchronous assignments to complete for the rest of the day. So after homeroom, you check your Blackboard announcements and get those assignments done that are assigned from each one of your teachers. We hope to see all of your parents there. We can't wait to share with them all of the awesome things that you are doing on a daily basis. Everyone, I need your attention. Meow. Listen, this is something you're going to want to hear. Spring break is just around the corner, my folks. It runs from March 25th to April 1st, and you've read that right. You get 6 full school days of spring break. March 25th is a Monday, April 1st is the following Monday. So you do not come back to school until Tuesday, April 2nd. I hope all of you enjoy this time off, get a refresher, come back ready to go and finish up the school year strong. And this is all we have for you for PVTV Season 2, Episode 22. We hope you enjoyed. Please remember, scholars, if you would like to be part of our team, we would love to have you. Just reach out to Mrs. Grolick or Mrs. Putt. And please remember, staff members, if you are doing something amazing in your classroom, we would love to feature it on PVTV. Just let us know.